Well, hello and welcome back to, I should have double checked this, episode 4?
Yes.
Episode 4.
Now you know how it feels.
The camera cuts on and you immediately become stupid.
That doesn't just happen to me when the camera's on.
Our party's in kind of a dire position. That might be, some arrows have flown, some words are shouted, some Eladrin were found, and the subtleties of what happened at an unattended farm had been costly to our party. Last we left, we had Calagon in wolf form charging up the field towards we can get there. Towards the leader of the elves, where Lakoth was pursuing. Saul and Kels were kind of in the middle of the field, making their way a little bit slower. Oberon dropped by 2 massive arrows at the entrance to the field. Yev there taking stock of the situation, and Juniper and John hiding behind a barrel as archers launched arrows from the tree line, pushing the party in one direction or the other and punishing those who were kept out. With that, we can jump right back in. We went through 2 rounds of initiative here, and we can just jump right back into initiative order unless there's anything else anyone needs to establish or recall or any questions. Cool.
Is John inside?
Is John inside the barrel?
John is not inside the barrel. John
That's
is
a
behind
ridiculous
the barrel.
question.
It's a great question.
I thought you were inside the
I was not inside the barrel.
So
Thank you
we're
for asking.
putting John back into the initiative order. I'll call you out when you're ready. And there might just be a hope past John's cowardice to bring Oberon back from the brink of death. But we'll see what happens. Please.
Need your prayers.
Okay, so up at the top of the initiative order, we have Kels. So what do you want to do in this situation?
So right now I'm next to the little stinky guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the little weasel thing.
Mm-hmm. Is that what we're referring to him as?
Yeah.
Okay.
A slinky boy.
I've not had formal training. I don't know what I would call the creature. I just know that he smells very bad.
Yeah. No, I really appreciate you just coming in swinging in character. That really just, my heart soars.
Is the stinky guy trying to communicate anything to me?
Just a
hanging
moment
out?
ago, an elf and a ladrin just took 2 large sweeps of his sword at Saul right by your feet as you're sneaking by, and then vanished. And so the 2 of are left there, and the noises have been popping off, goats have been screaming, wolves have been charging. I don't know if there's been much time for communication, so if you would like to have an exchange, this is your moment. But he's just kind of been, pulled in lots of different directions, just like you, trying to assess the battlefield.
Okay. I'm gonna look at him and his beady little eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going
So beady.
to say goodbye, and then I'm gonna keep walking or keep crawling.
Shudders a little bit as you go, and you take off. So are you moving towards the other end of the field?
Yes.
Yeah, in full movement?
No, still creeping.
Still creeping. You can take your full movement, just stealth. Your stealth roll can carry, so you can go 30 feet. And as you do so, you catch Wolf Calagon. My notes say Wolf Cal. To your side, and you make your way forward, and you see a crouched Lakoth behind one of the rows of vegetables with his sword ready, watching a sort of pale, right, pointy ears, dressed in very, very plain, simple material clothes, elf, being berated by another elf who looks very similar, as far as you're concerned. The one who's being berated, you can see his sword is on the ground. It's the same sort of, he's got sort of a blue tone, while the other looks a little more peach colored. So this sort of blue toned elf is just in an absolute daze. And Lakoth is watching both of them poised and ready.
Great.
Is there anything you want to do with that?
I'm gonna let Lakoth handle that.
Yeah. Do you want to fully end your turn, or do you want to prepare an action? Like you're ready to do something if something happens?
I would like to remain as hidden as possible, out of eye line as much as possible from both Lakoth and the elves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
no,
just, like,
I think
fully
that fine.
against
That
the-
rolls with your stealth roll, and you're keeping an eye on things. That's cool. A moment later, you see Saul kind of bound past you, and then run up to Lakoth and the kind of chitter in his ear and have a brief communication. The two of them
Cute.
look poised to inflict violence.
Okay.
Next, we're gonna see if that dazed elf breaks out of Oberon's charm and becomes a threat again or not.
Please no.
Yeah, I mean, you might be dying, but at least you did subdue a threat. And what is your spell save DC?
Spell save. Where is that?
Isn't it 14? I think it's 14. It should be on your spell sheet.
Oh, spell sheet. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's 14. If I remember right.
And is it, it is charisma, right? Or is it wisdom? Charisma is your spell casting.
Where are my spells?
I can double check for charm. That is charm person. It is a it's whatever your spell save DC would be, so we're gonna go with charisma, and you said it's a 14.
Yes.
Okay, so meets it beats it. This elf got a 13 on the die and has a +1.
Hate that.
Yeah.
Hate
So he comes back about himself, and in Sylvan, the two of them reorient this creature, dazed, his companion berating him. He turns to face his companion. Full force open palm slaps him across the face. Just a loud slap.
Hell yeah.
And draws his sword and begins, pointing, barreling down at him, shouting more Sylvan. And they seem to be in disarray, but with his wits about him. From there, we were gonna go with John.
Mm-hmm.
You are behind a barrel.
Yes, I am.
And behind that barrel is a bleeding goat man.
Yes.
And behind and to the adjacent side of that bleeding goat man, on the other entrance of the field, is Yev, poised and ready.
I've been shouting a lot.
You
Shouting a lot,
have.
creating a distraction.
A lot of Eldritch blasts.
Launching Eldritch blasts to the field. Very tactic oriented, not charging head first like Calagon. And you have Juniper cowering or not? Let's be honest
What do you
here.
mean by
I mean, you know what I mean.
I was just hit.
Yeah.
I was just hit.
You were hit. A shield flashed and the arrow deflected, but arrows are coming fast from several positions around the clearing at you all. So what would you like to do here?
Well, I really want to help the bleeding goat man.
Please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think most of our audience would agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so if you want to double check your spell list, I believe you've got either Healing Word or Healing Touch. It should be your next page
The next
there.
page.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that doesn't have any healing spells. Like,
I can't help it. You're
Well,
right.
with 2 bards, I did kind of have you guys diverge. You know, we don't want everyone to have healing word. Then my arrows don't mean anything.
I have cure wounds.
You have cure wounds.
I have wounds. They need curing.
Yeah. So double checking cure wounds. It is on touch. Creature regains hit points equal to 1d8 plus your spellcasting ability modifier, which would be your charisma modifier. You would simply have to make your way over to Oberon, exposing yourself, physical contact, right?
Yes.
To the face, I don't care where, and heal this individual.
Yeah.
You
happy
feel ready
to.
for it?
I feel so ready.
Okay. So if you walk out from behind cover, you walk into the clearing towards the entrance of the field. Where Oberon fell, there's really nowhere to make good cover for yourself. With your movement, you're leaving yourself a little bit exposed, but you're up to the kind of that edge of the vegetation, the fence. And it would only be a few more steps to get behind that cover, but as you charge with the anxiety barreling down on you that an arrow can be let loose from any direction, you're kind of like pressed up against a wall, essentially. So go ahead and roll me a d8. The diamond one.
This
the
one.
Diamond one. Yes.
The diamond one.
Yeah.
5.
5 plus your spellcast. So what is your charisma
Charisma.
modifier? Little number.
Charisma modifier is 2.
2 and a 5.
Yes.
So 7.
Yeah.
So you are stabilized. You
Okay.
actually come up to 7 hit points. And the cool thing about death saving throws is those stay for the encounter until you rest.
Okay.
So you didn't have to roll either. You didn't take any damage. So you're neutral. You don't have any fails. You don't have any successes.
Good.
So you're stabilized. You're back up with 7 hit points. You are prone on the ground, so you'll need to take your action next turn to stand up.
Right.
But you're not actively dying, and
Thank
that's a win.
Thank you.
So happy to help.
Yeah. Now for John here, I think
Yes.
you might be able to toss out a bardic inspiration as a bonus action. Some people don't let you do 2 spells in a turn. I think that's stupid. So if you want to throw out a bardic, now would be the time to anybody that you think might need help making an ability check, an attack, anything like that.
Oh,
Juniper,
Juniper
yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So you take a bardic, any ability you want. For the rest of this encounter, you can add a d4 to your check, to your roll. And I believe there's still one on Yev who also has that sanctuary. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, cool. That is awesome. So with that, that's John's turn. You saved a goat boy, and you put yourself against the wall.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. Next, where's my other d20? The elves that Calagon restrained. They're gonna, the buddy is gonna try to give them some assistance on getting out. So this first one is how successful his friend is at clearing away the vines. And this second roll takes that into account and changes the DC of whether or not they can escape your vines.
Hope they brought a lot of lube.
I sure did.
I meant I hope they can cast grease, Raph. You just go to the darkest.
Just after the papoose incident, it's been rough for me.
I told you could be my papoose. I didn't mean anything
Rough.
weird about it. I meant I would carry you.
Thank you.
His
Simplest
buddy got a
term.
19, but
He did bring-
actually restrained elf only rolled a 7 on die, and they don't have any strength bonus. They are dexterous individuals. So you hear a lot of shouting. You hear some vines like cutting and snapping and ripping, and but you don't hear the sound of a pair of footsteps now making they're still stuck. Dude can't get out even with his buddy cutting him away. So that is them. Up next we have Oberon, who's
Right.
back on his feet.
Yay.
Yeah, no longer making death saving throws. You've got, you know, big bloody wound of an arrow ripped right through you, but
Lovely.
you know, are you outraged? Are you angry? Are you sad? Like, you were just nailed, and for all intents and purposes died.
I'm more traumatized.
Traumatized?
I just saw like goat Jesus just right in front of me.
Yeah, no, goat Jesus came down, legally distinct from orc Jesus.
You didn't say orcs.
And, you know, caress you're fine, just come with me, it's all over. And then you're back up. That moment of peace just ripped away from you.
Ouch.
Yeah. Well, now that you're back on your feet and amongst the living, and stabilized, presumably you do want to
Yes.
stand up and, I mean,
Or you could just keep laying down.
you could keep laying down, you could play dead, you could cast spells. Like, how does Oberon in the heat of this
Mhm.
wanna play this situation?
Well, definitely want to like cast a spell
Mm-hmm.
at some point because I'm kind of not in a great position and I can't really move very much right now.
Do you have a spell that you think would be useful? I mean, either to yourself,
Yeah.
protecting someone.
Who is the closest elf to me right now?
Closest elf to you, to your right,
Mhm.
you know, is the edge of the clearing.
Gotcha.
So there's definitely an arrow coming from there.
Okay.
Now, about 100 feet away is where Calagon bind up that
Gotcha.
other, you know, the pair of them, and you know they're there within a pretty
Mhm.
tight radius.
Okay. I think I want to try. I'm gonna stay laying down for now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to cast Charm Person towards the clearing.
Okay. You're gonna throw it out again, and let's see.
laying
You
down.
need to make
throwing your
a-
hands into the
Pretty
air.
much.
Another one. I would say roll a d20, and I'll take that into account. Because you're kind of throwing this out blind.
Yeah.
So what did you, just a flat d20 roll, what did you get?
I got a 10.
Got a 10, okay. So you don't feel super confident where you're throwing this spell, you feel like you're throwing it in the general area.
Right.
But I mean, the last elf you hit dropped a sword, so you're waiting for that, kind of like someone to go into a stupor,
Mhm.
which, you know, what's your experience with that?
With charming people.
Charm person, yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah?
I use it fairly often. It's probably the spell I use the most.
Yeah. And what sort of situations do you use it in?
I mean, I use it in whenever like I'm in a crowd and like I'm playing music and they're not feeling it.
Yeah.
I kind of cheat a little bit. I'm just like, now you love
Yeah.
me.
And just get like
You
one
magically
person to bring
roofie the
energy
crowd?
up.
I do.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't feel ashamed about that. I don't care.
God, I wish you could do that in real life. It's legal.
So this you don't hear the drop of a weapon.
Great.
You think that they made the save, but you're not certain.
Okay.
That is what I'll tell you. Now, Oberon, is there anything? Would you like to move, maybe to a safer location from where you are?
Can I like physically roll myself
you
instead of like
physically roll
standing
yourself?
up?
Yeah, you know, these fence kind of keep out vermin, so rabbits and small critters. So you can't like roll into the field. You would
Right.
have to go like take a 90-degree turn in there, but you can stay tight to the ground in sort of like a horde facsimile of what Kels is doing.
I want to do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So I'm gonna have you move with disadvantage, so you're gonna take half your movement
Fair.
because you're rolling on the ground instead of walking.
Right.
And I feel like that's something you might not be proficient in.
Potentially.
I mean, if you can make the argument, make the argument.
I mean, I feel like I move fairly well regardless of like whatever position I'm in. I have goat legs, which aren't really good for walking or
Yeah.
or really anything else. So I just kind of make it work for me.
But
You could,
moving like a hot dog, is that?
Sling like a worm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell them about all your experience doing the worm on the dance floor.
Yeah,
Just-
I often break dance and do the
Yes.
worm and
Uh-huh.
roll on my head
Uh-huh.
to amaze people. with my skills.
Goat
The
legs and horse legs. Aerodynamically, I don't think goat legs are great for walking upright. So maybe there's like, you're not good at that, but maybe you're like equally bad at horizontal, like crabbing it. I feel like in both cases, not great, but the same level.
Evolutionarily speaking, like I'm not designed really well.
No.
But picture him laying on his back and just backpedaling, scooting.
Yeah.
Oh, scooting! Like back sledding,
works.
like an angry toddler who didn't get dessert.
I see goat legs as being very good for that.
I would like to do that.
Bent back, like
Yeah.
I like to scoot.
Okay, I will let you scoot. I will let you demoralize yourself to scoot.
I'm okay with that.
Take your foot. So everyone sees this. John, you're right next. You just like. And like, how do you we didn't fully do this, but how do you heal him? Like, do you grab him by the head and like come back to life, or do you just?
Well, first of all, I feel so excited that my bardic inspiration was able to allow him to scoot.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah,
and like that feels like
that's the impact you have on people.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I can help people scoot.
I picture
And that
almost
means
like
a lot to
when
me.
you're using a defibrillator, like one hand here, one hand here. Back to life, and then he just
And then he
starts
just
going
starts
scooting
away like a little roach.
Yeah, I like
Right
that,
next to you.
defibrillating him. Yeah, let's do that.
Cool.
Do you have to hum Staying
So
Alive?
you, take some cover, some
I do,
visual
because
cover.
I'm John T. Travolta.
That's right.
Oh my God, thank you. Yeah. Chest compressions. Yeah, absolutely. I brought him back to life, and now he's scooting.
We are the only Red Cross certified D&D show.
He said directly
Don't
into the
check me on
camera.
that. Yeah, so you scoot behind the fence and the vegetation. You have a visual cover from these archers.
Oh, good. Okay.
To catch your breath for a moment. No, fantastic. Oberon's up. So far, no fatalities. Good first combat.
Give it time.
Yes. Cal, Wolf Cal, you see your targets. You see these two Eladrin, these two elves, kind of, I mean, it's gone full slapstick. Like, just do, like, two fingers, like, block with the hand, like, they're losing it. They're angry, they seem a little disorganized, and maybe not clear on the incipient threat. They did, right, you did hear them shout and give the command for the archers to start, but they've been in here. They don't have the full scope of what's coming for them. So you have a little bit of advantage here of catching them off guard.
Okay. Is there any difference in these two individuals?
Yeah, the one that came back from being charmed, sort of like a sort of pale blue skin. The other is sort of like more of a peachy humanoid tone. But the two of them, if you want to roll me some kind of check, I can give you more than just physical skin coloration description.
Well, if I know which one was charmed, but we don't necessarily know if he is still charmed.
The sort of icy pale blue skin was.
I definitely won't go for that one.
Yeah.
I'll go for the one I know we don't have a charm on.
Okay.
And I will destroy him.
Roll
Yeah.
vibe check.
Yeah.
Who check? Vibe check?
So what do you want to make an attack roll?
Yeah, if I can.
Okay, and you are currently just a regular wolf, not a dire wolf, because you're a CR 1/4 wolf.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna be level.
So the bite is a +4 to hit to do 2d4 + 2. So go ahead, give me an attack roll as you sprint over it.
Bad. 2.
2.
Roll the 2. So.
So what does it look like as you just
I
bullet a
think
wolf and miss your bite?
I think as he's sprinting in at full tilt,
Mhm.
like he thought he was going to go rolling in, snarling, scaring them, getting their attention, and they're absolutely ignoring him. So he's just like on the right, the left, the right, the left, the right, the left, and he just changes his mind 4 times and probably goes sailing past them into a bush.
Yep.
It's not super dignified.
100%. Yeah, no, as far as my notes are concerned, Wolf Cal is now on the opposite side of them.
Fair.
You are, so you're between them and kind of that
Did
back.
they
as
even notice? That was so pitiful. It was not
yeah, no,
close.
so that's good. As you launch, right, I very much picture like full Three Stooges happening. And is Abbott and Costello a better reference? I don't know anymore.
Wait, so if there's two people arguing and a giant dog goes flying by,
They
and they don't notice. We're basically
they
a
do
TikTok.
notice. They yes.
Yeah.
They do notice. You know, they're doing the full routine. You launch right between them, missing your attack roll, and kind of position yourself after, and they both like, you know, scream, start, recoil back, and the
Do they realize it's part of our party, or do they just think it's like a random iguana? We are at a farm.
You can't tell. It's hard for you to say.
Rare forest giant.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
the warm-skinned elf raises two hands at you, looking like he's trying to defend himself, maybe cast magic. The icy blue-skinned elf not redraws, I guess it's on the ground, retrieves his sword, and they take position. It looks like you, in mechanical terms, lost your advantage.
So it goes.
On them.
But did I have advantage, or should I have rolled
I
twice?
wasn't. Yeah, I suppose that's not the correct choice of
Sure.
words. I wasn't going to give like full advantage of rolling,
understand.
but
Okay.
your DC, their AC, they could have been caught out easy. But a 4, what are we going to do with a 4?
None.
So if you have any bonus actions, if you would like to, you know, shift back or do anything else, you can. Because I believe a wolf probably has a lower AC than Calagon. Is that correct?
I don't know. Calagon's AC is not that great. His AC
Wolf
is about
is
13.
Wolf is 13. Okay.
Yeah. Might as well stay. I will, if I can, end my turn with a tree between me and them, in case I don't know if they're armed with missile weapons or not.
You can. So I mean, it's fenced in. So you can kind of take some steps back, but the best you can do, right? If there's the pair of them, instead of being through the center of the pair, you can be on one side or the other.
All right.
So something to that effect.
Sure.
So at least you're not caught immediately by two of them.
Sure.
Okay, cool. So that's Calagon, and then we go to Yev, who's been launching Eldritch
And I'm gonna
Blasts.
keep on doing it. It's a good thing you're hiding behind something. That was
Whatever.
the one thing holding me back.
You know, if I get hit with friendly fire, that's
So,
on me.
give me your chance to hit here.
So I have 1d20 plus 4. What do you mean? Like, I mean, I did shoot at them last time and
roll
I
your
missed.
D. Roll your D.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. 8 plus 4, so that'd be 12.
12, and you're shooting for this pair at the end.
Yep.
They have a AC that is above that, so you miss.
Cool.
You miss again.
Again, I have 3. I think.
Yeah,
Or maybe
they've gone wide, and you know this one rips right past Calagon, and right you've been blasting holes in this sort of fence behind them.
That's
Are
where
they
the
were-
iguana came
Yeah.
from.
They were
Right.
intimidated last time. Are they still scared, even though I'm missing, or have they been like, damn, she can't aim for shit?
You know, here's what we'll do. If you want to do another intimidation check, I'll let you roll with advantage on this.
Oh, great. Oh, I would love to actually get a roll. That was a 10. That was a 6. What's my plus for intimidation? 2, so the 10 becomes a 12. And I'll use, like, I still have the shout. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's the last warning shot.
I think you've been missing shooting energy bolts past them. There's now a wolf in their face.
Yeah.
And I think you've lost a little bit of your control over the situation to keep them.
Never had it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're now less concerned with you. So if you want to, you know, you also see Oberon run past you. It looks like the rest of your party is making their way into the field. And I would say you recognize that if you stay where you are, there's a chance that the archers could turn on you. So do you
Yeah.
want to move from your
I
position?
would love to
Yeah.
join them and.
Do you want to take
remain.
a full movement or just kind of go in, just enter the field?
So I
from
still want to be
inside?
able to hit these two. The archers I would like to avoid, but my main focus is on these two. So I would
Yeah.
like to approach, like follow, I guess, lack off kind of, and again some kind of formation to kind of keep us clustered.
Absolutely. So you can. The only people you can see are Lakoff as a wolf, kind of going down his path. Kels is obscured from you. Oberon is just right around the corner in the fence, laying there on the ground. So if to make a trajectory, to make sort of a tactical decision, I think you would take this, see that you could take the same path as Calagon, and that would give you sort of the most tactical advantage. Cool. So yeah, you move into the field. You're ready to go, and I promise you will eventually hit something.
I doubt it.
With these guys are tough. From there we go to Juniper.
Alright, so I am pissed off.
Yeah.
I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
Can I see the elves?
You have a pretty good sense of the one to your left now that shot you. There's a pair still dealing with untangling, and there is another one probably off to your right that you don't have the exact position. But you have a pretty good sense of where the one that fired on you is.
Okay. So, and if I were to pivot, let's say forward toward the group, will I still be able to see the elf to my right?
If you entered the field, you would lose. They would be obscured. But them from you and you from them.
Okay. So what I want to do is attack. I want to do Scorching Ray, which is up to 120 feet.
Yep.
And I can do 3 rays of fire. So ideally, I would like to shoot all 3.
Yep. Let me double check Scorching Ray to double check that. But 3 rays of fire them at a target within range. Hurl 1 at one target or several ranged attack for each one on hit. So you make 3 attacks. This is a 2nd level spell. So you'll roll a d20 3 times and add your spellcasting modifier. And for each hit is 2d6 fire damage. So go ahead and roll a d20 3 times for me.
Before I do that, where do I find the spell modifier?
The spell modifier, you are a sorcerer.
Correct.
So that is going to be charisma. So it's your charisma modifier.
Okay.
So the little number on charisma, which
Plus
is
3.
a plus 3. Okay, cool.
Alright.
So I can tell you right now that the individual you're trying to hit, her armor class is 13, and you have a plus 3. So you need a 10 or higher on the die to land a hit.
Okay.
So you're going for 3 10s or higher.
3 10s or higher. For that particular person.
For that particular individual,
So I want to hit
yes.
her and maybe 2 other people.
You want to point different directions? Well, good news is they all have the same AC.
Okay. Glad we
Yeah.
clarified. Okay.
We're in the 2nd episode. I feel comfortable giving you all meta knowledge on that.
So 22. 22 for 1.
So you got a 19 on the die.
19,
19 on the die. I was like, oh my god, is that not
Sorry.
no. So yeah, 1 hits. Cool.
A 5.
A 5, so a miss.
And a 9.
And a 9. Wow, that's unfortunate. But you did land 1 hit. Yeah, that's super close. That's brutal. So you can presumably this will be your initial target.
Yep.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll 2d6 for damage.
Okay. Is this a d6?
Cubes.
Cubes. Alright.
We're not known for our math or our geometry as writers.
I used to. Okay. Do I add them together?
2d6, add them together.
8.
8. Okay. Yeah, so you fire off kind of wildly 3 bolts. Do you try to hit the same target with all 3, or do you pivot and kind of like blind fire?
Well,
Like,
if I did it
what
terribly.
happens?
If I did it terribly, I
Yeah.
don't want to burn the forest. Just
Oh, so like here's the thing: you're burning the forest. Like that's happening. You're on that train. Like
Am I
there's
really-
no
Already
exits. Oh my
polluted the
God,
groundwater.
No, the
Groundwater!
I didn't
The first
understand
disruption.
The ecological
question is-
disaster of
I
the
didn't
party.
do that.
The question is,
Yeah.
are they
It's like
all
a Fern Gully
3 at the
situation.
same target, or did you turn and try to hit someone else, and that's why you missed?
Yeah, so, I mean, well, okay, it's already burning. Yes, I tried to hit 3 different people,
Yeah.
because I don't know where those 2 arrows came from.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like I think that's a great instinct on Juniper's part. Like you got one target, you fire a spell off at them, and then you know there's someone over there. You know there's someone over there, and you're like, I got this, and you don't even like check to see what happened. You know, it launches in that general direction. But your first one, you know, you hear sort of like a feminine elf voice cry out, shout, as just like your firebolt pierces right through the tree line. You found the perfect target and blows up just a few like feet inside the tree line. The flames immediately start to spread all around you. And you hear some shouts from the directions of folks you didn't hit. You know, you don't hear screeches, but you hear after the flame bolt explodes, right? Which flame bolt is a different spell. Should I stop saying that? Your scorching ray. You hear after they explode other panicked voices in the directions in which you shot them.
Okay.
So with that, do you want to reposition?
Yes. First, I think to myself, well, eventually I have to put the fire out so it doesn't keep spreading.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I would like to get that barrel.
Yeah.
Put it on and like kind of roll with it, like.
Okay, so I'm gonna need.
Someone's rolling.
Someone's rolling. I'm gonna need a
Roll check.
Roll.
I feel like a flat strength check, because it's not really athletics.
Dexterity.
It's not dexterity.
Acrobatics?
Unless you can, if you want
Acrobatics?
to use a skill check like acrobatics or something, I would let you make the argument.
Roll wisdom.
Wisdom. It's an uphill fight, but if we're literally talking about you picking up this thing that Calagon could kind of push him and trying to drag it or move it, I'm gonna need a straight strength check for that.
Okay.
So what's your strength modifier?
0.
Okay. So I would say you would need the kind of like general mindset for D&D is like 10 is like an average human strength, right? Or ability at something. 20 is like extremely proficient. 25 is like an absolute undisputed master, and 30 is like godlike, right? So to move this weight, I would say you need an 18. Seems generous.
I know.
So and with a +0, you need it on the die. However, you do have your bardic inspiration.
Okay.
So you can add a roll of a d4, so that's a 1 to a 4. So go ahead and roll a d20.
Okay.
And then if you like, you could add a d4 to that roll.
Do I have to tell you that now or after I roll?
You can commit after you roll.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you get like a 2, like, yeah, I'm not going to make you waste your bardic.
Fair.
It's whenever you feel like you want to tap into John's affirmation.
It was a nat 1.
Oh. But with bardic.
With bardic. No, so, okay, wow. Oh my god.
I'm just gonna swap it out.
Yeah, I mean, like, what bone do you want to break? Like, what's gonna... Like, I'm gonna toss this to you. Nat 1, like, I mean, like, you fail with drawbacks, right? And so I'll let you, you know, we can figure this out. But Juniper goes, you go and you, like, slip up under the strap and you go to lift this barrel that Calagon, what are you, like, 6.5 feet? Larger, like, almost 7 foot tall.
It's the whole party's food and
massive.
water rations.
Yeah.
This
Like
is
a
what
camping
I was
cooler
hiding
in
behind.
behind.
I was
It
hiding
also
behind
gets
this
set
guy.
on fire.
Yeah.
This is a problem.
And so you slip yourself.
I'm hiding behind.
Oh yeah, you did reposition now.
I did reposition.
It is that same barrel, but yeah, you repositioned by the you're where Oberon was, kind of at the entrance to the
Say,
field.
don't drop it on
Okay.
John.
Yeah. Right. No, otherwise it would have Yeah, it's right over. But yeah, no, you slip under the strap and you go to lift and you come up against a solid force.
Oh, we have to go to the old chiropractor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you might have pulled
What
a groin or
happens?
something.
Lift with the legs.
What happens?
It's time
Juniper?
for that salve.
I feel a little tickle in my back.
Yeah. Yeah, is that what we're calling? It's very optimistic.
Right. And I realize I can't do that.
Yeah.
So feel a little sharp pain in my back.
Yeah. No, I'm going to say that you have to make a Constitution saving throw. This is a DC of 12. You're going to add your Constitution modifier to this to see how injured you get from trying to lift this.
Okay. Okay. Do I roll a d20?
Yeah, roll a d20 and add your Constitution modifier.
So if it's higher, I'm fine. If it's lower, then I'm
And what
messed up.
number did I say? Did I say a number? 12.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Higher
Yes.
than 12.
You're looking to, I will say, meets it, beats it. You're looking to get a 12 with your modifier or higher. And what's your Constitution modifier?
+1.
+1. So you need on die an 11 or higher, or you are one-way trip to ye old chiropractor.
You get a 45% chance of being okay.
Okay.
Yeah, right? That's pretty good.
That's
I feel like
alright.
that's very generous for
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
I mean, that's higher than your chance of being okay in real life.
Yeah.
This is a really sad combat.
I mean, for Vegas, those odds of 45 odd, that is
Oh, right. We got a
Traffic,
15
being a
and
grad
16.
student, you know.
16. So yeah,
Totally
you
fine.
feel a twinge in your back, and something pulls wrong, and you feel that strap that you moved under just like catch and really pull down on your shoulder. I would say that there's no lasting damage, but until you have long rest, make a note of this, and I'll make a note of this. You're gonna have disadvantage on any strength ability checks
Bro,
whatsoever.
you can walk that off.
But yes,
do
ultimately
a
you
deep
can
tissue
walk
later.
that off.
It's gonna be fine.
This is why you don't lift with your back.
That's right.
Yeah.
You gotta get your legs underneath it. You know, form is everything.
You made it look so easy. I thought I would just.
Well,
Use
when
it
you're a
as
large,
protection.
fat person, little other things seem smaller.
The barrel, humanoids.
It's all about the ratio, you know,
arrows.
comparison to your own weight.
Yeah.
I love fantasy back pain. This is the best exchange.
I mean, look, the point is, you guys give me options. And, like, sometimes it's a magical curse, sometimes it's back pain.
I can't wait for me to like turn my knee or like my
Yeah.
ankle, just like real life.
Don't slip walking down a hill, because I will twist your ankle, and then I will walk to the other side of the table and twist your ankle. It's immersive storytelling.
It's
everyone.
okay. We're gonna do some yoga at camp tonight. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Gonna balance out the humors.
Get the leeches.
Leeches, bloodletting,
So I stay behind the barrel until my next
Okay.
turn.
And so you kind of lock down there. Cool.
Well, yeah.
No, you got a nat 1.
Well,
Never mind. I was gonna give you the opportunity to do something, but I think with the distraction of the physical plane, I think you lose some information, and that's all I'm gonna tell you.
You're too distracted by your owie back.
I did it to myself.
So from the tree line, and John and Juniper, I think you both are gonna notice this. From the tree line of where you launched those kind of, I keep saying flame bolt, but that's not it.
Scorching
ray. Where you launched those scorching rays, you guys see some elves flushed from the tree line as it begins to burn. So they run out into the clearing. The one straight ahead from where you guys entered from the trailhead, you hear some shouting, and you see one elf emerge from the tree line. From either of your sides, you see one as well, but it seems like you don't have to roll for this. The one that's still trapped by the entangle spell has been abandoned.
Oh no!
Yeah, so these all they failed pretty hard. Some wisdom saving throws, and so they're shaken by the fact that it just exploded in flame, and they get flushed and lose their turn. So they are out into the tree line. They're totally exposed, and you actually off of your nat 1, no, not off of your nat 1, but off of your misses, removed threat for that turn.
All right.
So success from a failure.
Hooray.
Yes, with that, we're gonna actually move back up to Kels. Everyone's ready. The wolf just launched. You see Lakoff, he's poised, he's ready to make his move. What are you gonna do?
Which elf was the one that was not under the love spell?
This sort of like orangey, peachy colored one.
Okay, so I have command.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to yell at him to halt.
Mm-hmm.
Perish.
And command, does that have a saving throw?
Yes, it's a save of 12.
Save of 12, and what is your, it's a wisdom saving throw on command.
Yes.
So it does not take your abilities into account. Yes, so I'll tell you this creature has a +1 to wisdom, so they need a 12 or higher. What's your save, 13? 12?
12.
What did we just say, 12. So he needs an 11 or higher. That's an 18 on die.
No!
So yeah, you shout halt, and for the first time in common, this creature staring at the wolf turns, pulls his attention off of the wolf in your direction, and in common shouts, "Who's there? What do you want?" You're free to respond.
Halt or perish.
Halt or perish. Just
should
kind
recognize
of
that
launches into a tirade in Sylvan, and I would say that your stealth check against his perception. So go ahead and give me a stealth roll to stay protected. You can just roll a d20, and if you want to do stealth, or just add your dex modifier.
That is a 15.
With a nat 1 and a +9 to perception, he wheels around confused and is looking around. So that is direction off of Calagon, and with a nat 1, who we see exposed is actually Yev.
Oh, I was gonna say, could you do the voice of God thing we did in the other campaign? Can he believe it was God himself?
It's a fun option, but his attention turns to Yev, and you can see him ready a spell towards you as you're coming down one of these rows.
I'm still moving? Okay.
Yeah.
Oops. You didn't give me sanctuary. It's kind of like a draw.
So the other one, kind of the gray-skinned one, silvery blue gray, turns its attention to Calagon and does a multi-attack longsword. So going to swing at you twice with a longsword, and you have an AC of 13.
Mm-hmm.
So actually I'm going to roll these at the same time, and they have a +2, so they need an 11 or higher. Lots of like 11, 12, 13s thrown at third level. That's a 2 and a 17. So he takes 2 swipes of you, lands 1 for 4+, that's 9 damage on Calagon. So big, broad, 2 swings at this like snarling wolf that just leapt through them, and then second one hits you for 9 points of damage, catches you across the side. And what's your HP total?
In wolf form 2.
In wolf
11
form 2
at full. So I'm
yeah,
2
you
left.
you would So cool. So that's a sizable hit. You know, it hits the meaty bits, hits something solid, and gets yanked out of you. What is Calagon's reaction to getting struck like that?
It doesn't matter. It's a shapeshift form.
Yeah, and it'll break, and you'll be back. And
When he breaks me out of it, I'm going to cast Enlarge and become 20 feet tall.
yeah, well, we're all looking forward to that.
It might happen.
Reaction, can I shout, my dog? They already saw me, what's the matter?
Yeah, no, 100%. You hear, more shouting in Sylvan. It sounds like they want to kill your dog. You know, even through the language barrier, that
Oh, yeah.
comes through
I got
very
it.
clearly. Cool. Well, Lakoth steps from his position, taking advantage of the chaos, and this sort of silvery skinned, blue-skinned Eladrin. Lakoth drops his sword on him after he hits Calagon. That hits and does presumably something mean. 10, he has how much? So if I can do math on paper, which is no one look at me. Cool. So he takes a really sizable swing at this creature who appears unperturbed. Some sort of magic is keeping them a little insulated from the sword swing. But after that comes into contact, Calagon's face changes. For those of you who are nearby, I would say the three of you, if you want to give me perception rolls.
19.
19.
Plus something.
14.
22.
And Calagon?
I'm sorry, say again.
Perception roll.
Oh. 19.
19. With two 19s.
22.
22, up to a 22. His expression softens, and a look of recognition passes over him, and his sword sort of drops a little bit, and in common, you hear him address this creature by name as Malen, and then they continue on in Sylvan. Lakoth even goes so far as to put a hand on this creature's shoulder and very empathically look like they're having a heated conversation. Yeah. What do you all make of this?
He's finally lost it all the way.
Lost it all the way.
I knew this betrayal was incoming.
We're gonna move to the other elf who is there, who is going to take an attack on Yev now, with their attention being pointed in that direction. So we're going to do a ranged attack. We are actually going to do flame bolt, which is why it was in my head. If I can find everything I'm looking for. So this is the problem of being half virtual, half paper. I need to find my stuff, and that always takes more than a second. So let me double check this spell. Talk amongst yourselves.
As the elf starts trying to summon, remembering how to cast a spell, I slowly and cartoonishly creep.
Creeping, roll.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the big fake steps.
I love how we're moving today.
Right. Start whistling inconspicuously, just receding.
My bag.
Start ham-boning.
You may have a workman's comp claim you could make.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone in the farm survived, you can sue them.
Yep. I can sue this
Sue
farm.
Lakoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For what?
Annoying.
Unsafe
Back
working
out
conditions.
you.
Yeah, no,
Upset
that one
Toby.
checks out.
Oh, fatal tummy hurting.
So sorry,
Someone's gonna get a spike of psychic energy into their
Yeah.
bodies. Don't know who. Someone's gonna get it.
I'm still on my back.
Are you still full of eggplant?
Yes.
Oh my god, thank you. Okay, there it is. I still had things filtered for druid spells, and that's why I couldn't find it.
It's okay. I realized that my proper druid forms were on the bottom half of this sheet. So when I zoned out a minute ago and you're like, hey, perception check, it's because I'm like, I can actually do CR1 forms. But they were on the bottom half of the sheet.
Yes.
Lost track of them briefly.
Don't leave your possessions unattended in the Studio 750.
Around untrustworthy people, I guess.
Apparently.
The lesson.
Okay, so yeah, this is an attack. What is your AC of?
It's a 12.
12. So that's a 14 on die. So you are going to take 1d10 of...
What does Sanctuary do, and does it reduce?
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Can I die?
Sanctuary.
It does.
Yeah, do you want to read for us, Kels?
Until the spell ends, any creature who targets the warded creature with an attack or harmful spell must first make a wisdom saving throw, and that is a save of 12.
A save of 12. Okay. So, this Eladrin goes, flame conjures in the hand. You begin to shimmer, as all good stories go, and that's a 15 on die. So they succeed with the wisdom saving check. There's some magical force from Kels to not be observed, right? that they just their attention turns from you, but their concentration refocuses, and they make an attack.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna use D10 of fire damage that hits you, so that's an 8.
Okay.
So you take 8 points of fire damage, and again, like a jet of fire comes at you. It doesn't explode like Juniper's spell.
Can I argue,
Misinjury.
being a chef, I've experienced being burned, and that gives them disadvantage.
No.
My skin is so coarse and thick.
Your skin is coarse, it dries further. You really need to moisturize, especially being washed up in the sun on
It's
the
been
beach.
rough.
If she stops, drops, and rolls
Yeah.
very quickly, will that give her an advantage?
I have had fire safety training.
No,
She's on
but if
fire
you
safety
respond in scene, there's always a chance for an inspiration point.
If I stop, drop, and roll in scene, are you saying? Or what? You want me to shout in character?
I don't know, man. Like, that's for you to
I
figure
curse
out.
loudly in Russian. You old fantasy Russian.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I can't do it. I'm not that far in Duolingo. They don't
There we
teach me
go.
the dirty things. But
Alright, well, then
Duolingo.
no inspiration die for you. But we do jump to John. So it's
Here I am.
popping off in there.
Yes.
The archers have been flushed. The edge of the woods is burning. Flame bolts have been going inside. Swings have been made. Wolves are growling. It's just like it's fully gone off the hinge.
Yes.
Like a regular day.
And here I am.
And here John is, having just healed Goat Boy who ran inside.
Yep.
I mean,
Just
but
peace
this
out.
is kind of John's moment. You've been quite literally hiding and cowering, and things have now escalated, and you're in the open and you have a decision to make. You can continue to run and hide and protect yourself, or you can go towards danger in front of you or danger behind you as things are exploding and happening. What is in John's nature? What does John Travolta think of?
John Travolta is chaotic good.
Mm-hmm.
So he's fundamentally good. So he's going to go behind him
Mm-hmm.
towards the danger.
Okay.
What's behind him again?
It's the field. The
The
field
field.
and all of these attacks that are going on.
Yeah, John's gonna go behind him into the field, behind himself into the field, and he's going to. Who's behind him?
Well, immediately is Oberon just on
Yeah.
the inside of the field, and 20, 30 odd feet in there, Yev moved into position
Gotcha.
and just got blasted with fire.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah.
if you've got a bardic to dole out, if
that's a
you've
good
got
point.
another spell, a healing spell, an offensive spell, but the people you've been traveling with are fighting a common enemy,
Yes.
And they're getting wounded. Some self-inflicted, but and yeah, no, you fully saw that.
Your sciatica. It hurts. I am really excited about this hideous laughter spell I have.
Yeah.
And it's a really good one, and I want to use it, Matt.
Yeah.
Really
So
badly.
I mean, as you turn into the field, I think you see this sort of orangey, peachy Eladrin that just chucked fire at Yev.
What's up,
Yeah, and
Nothing good.
And you might not be one to take violent action, but you're kind of a trickster at heart. So if you want to chuck a hideous laughter at that aggressive Eladrin, I think that would be a great move. So let me double check it here. Tasha's is a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
So I need to know your spell save DC, which will be on your spell sheet at the top. It'll be at the top. In one of those little bubbles at the top. It should be 8. If you don't have it marked down, it should be 8 plus your spellcasting modifier. Excuse me, plus your proficiency. So you're a bard, so what is your wisdom modifier?
My wisdom modifier is 1.
And your proficiency bonus is what?
My proficiency bonus is, you know what, I might just give it to you.
That's 2 totally fine. So I've got you here, so you have a 2.
Oh.
And then with charisma, you have a 2 as well.
Okay.
So it's 8 plus 4.
Okay.
So you're at a 12.
Yep.
And so they need to use their wisdom ability to beat your spell save DC, which is 12.
Okay.
So let me go back to my creature, and what is their wisdom? They don't have anything else for wisdom. Wisdom is a +1, so they need an 11 or higher on the die. So that is a 6, and they fail. Not a lot of failures have been happening with your enemies. You guys have not been rolling super successfully when the time needs. So what does it look like when John casts Tasha's hideous laughter on this elf?
On this elf? So basically it's like it possesses the elf, right?
I would say a creature of your choice perceives everything as hilariously funny and falls into fits of laughter.
Yeah.
But you still zap them.
I zap
Yeah,
them.
what's the zap look
I
like?
sort of crouch and zap from an angle.
Yeah.
And then the Eladrin
It's very
sees.
sneaky.
It's very sneaky.
Yeah, I can see you just illuminated by a spotlight with a big
Absolutely.
shadow in your
Okay, so I
From the
see John do
ground
this,
up.
or do I think the elf is taunting me?
If you want to take an Arcana roll, you can.
Sure.
Um,
Oh, fuck.
Oh, there it goes.
We'll see
into
what
the
that lands
pit.
on. That landed on an 8.
With an 8, you don't know the nature of the spell casting, but it's
But I know the elf
obvious-
doesn't just be
Yeah,
a dick.
it's obvious that this person did that to that other person. Like, yeah. So yeah, you
So,
zap them.
I'm zapping sort of from the ground up.
Yeah.
Like a quick
See, like a
angle.
30-degree angle.
Oh,
with your
absolutely.
back, your
Like,
low. Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
And then the elf, the first person being
Mhm.
that the elf lies
Yeah.
in the elf's sight is Oberon.
Yes.
Yes.
All the way down at the end of the
All the way
field.
down at the end of
they
the
catch
field.
Oberon. Yeah.
And the elf sees what Oberon is doing and is
Scooting.
like, my God, is
Yeah.
scooting.
Yeah,
And the
scooting.
elf is like, you don't even need hideous laughter to know that this is funny, but the elf finds this hilarious, is distracted by it.
Yeah.
And
All of their rage and aggression just
Gone.
gone.
Absolutely
Looks
gone.
right past Yev, hits you with fire.
Right.
Can't.
Can't stop laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they since they did not succeed, they actually fall prone, like they hit the ground, like they can't breathe, like they're on the ground rolling around,
Rolling
and
on the floor laughing.
like quite literally,
Quite literally,
yes.
yeah.
And so they're stuck. So at the end of each of their turn, they have a chance to break from it. But as long as you hold concentration, I mean, this is going to last for a full minute.
Good.
So I'm going to make a note here that prone and hideously laughing.
Hideously laughing.
Cool. Okay. So that's John. You guys begin to hear some screaming, some shouts from the area you guys entered. The elf that was entangled by Calagon. It sounds like he is being cooked alive. But with his friends' help, you hear a couple more things snap, and you hear the thud of a body falling, and it sounds like some footsteps, some screaming footsteps. And Juniper, you're still in a position where you're able to see this. A flaming elf runs out of, open to interpretation, runs out from the tree line, just like fully on fire, rolls on the ground like they're taking burning damage.
What does it smell like?
What does it smell like?
What does a burning elf smell like?
Burnt elf?
Hopefully sweet.
We said the elf
Yeah,
patchouli,
it
right?
smells kind of nice. It smells like, well, see, here's the thing, right? It smells like burnt sugar and like roasting sage, which are both kind of
Yeah.
nice on their own, but together, it
Caramel.
really doesn't.
Doesn't mix.
It's a little
No.
putrid together.
Can I eat it? Like,
Can you eat it? I mean, I don't know what your beef on eating sentient creatures is.
I
That's
have
for
no
me
beef.
to
goat.
find
Yeah,
out.
Go
so
eat
whatever. You'll eat a tin can. What's an elf?
They're not dead yet. I'll say that.
scented, so
Doesn't enter
maybe.
into it.
So, and the elf who left before seems to get their wits about them and sees the other two that were flushed. And from you, I go ahead and if you want to make either stealth or deception check, I'll leave it up to you to see if they can see you behind the barrel, to see how good this cover is.
Or deception. We're gonna do deception.
Deception, cool.
That's a 5.
That's a 5. Well, okay, they got an 8 on the die and have a +5 to perception because they're forest folk. So I don't know what it is. Maybe you're groaning in pain, or like you're laying on your back and your feet are sticking out. But like they totally see that you're behind the barrel, and replace their bow, draw a sword, and start making their way towards you. They cover maybe 10 feet away. They're pretty close. Next turn, they can move on you and attack. And it looks like if you leave this space and you're not being careful, they might get an attack off on you.
Okay. So before I do an action, I want to clarify something. So I
Yeah.
have bonus actions, right? That says I can convert sorcery points and use your sorcery points to gain
Yes.
additional spell slots. Does that mean I can do another spell?
Yeah. So you burned a 2nd level spell. So one of your 2nd level spell slots is gone. You can convert sorcery points. I think it's so it'd be 2 sorcery points for a 2nd level spell slot. You can also always what do you have? Quicken spell and something else?
I have empowered and heightened.
Empowered and heightened. If you ever want to use those, you can also use those for sorcery points. I think those both. I'll double check you here, but I think those both cost 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Empowered's 1.
Empowered is 1, which lets you re-roll the damage dice. And then what was the other empowered and?
Heightened. I can spend 3 sorcery points for that one.
Yes. Oh my god, why can I not pull this up through my catalog of information? Do I not know how to spell the word heightened? Is that what's happening live on stream? Yes, so we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But yeah, you can use them for sorcery points or convert your sorcery points to spell slots as a bonus action. Yeah. And what's your sorcery point pool? I think it's 3? 5. Cool. Yeah, so if you want to say on your last turn you converted 2 into a second level spell, you can, or you can wait until you're out. We're going to move then right along to Oberon.
Hello.
So you've been scooting.
Yes, I have.
You've been causing a ruckus.
I sure have.
Causing laughter.
Demonstrate right now.
I'm good.
On the table.
Yeah.
So now that Oberon's kind of in this kind of like reached this almost like sanctuary moment of relative safety, you see your allies running past you into the field. What would you like to do here?
How close are like the elves like to my position?
Close to the elves to your position, 100 feet. They're the length of the field, and they're obscured by a couple rows. If you took a step forward, you'd be able to see them all the way down, but they are still far away.
Okay, not good. I think I should probably just stand up at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that's an action, right?
Still hilarious. They're guffawing on the ground. He stood up. Oh my god. Yeah, wildly entertaining. For real confidence boost.
Yeah.
You need it.
I did need that.
Yeah.
Is it more like a laughing at or laughing with
I don't
situation?
Care. I do
roll
not
perception.
All of us?
Whoever wants.
Got a 1.
It's 10.
12.
What do you believe is happening?
I believe. I mean, personally, I don't care if they're laughing at me or with me. Like, I just like that I'm getting attention.
Yeah, you're fully self-absorbed in that.
Yeah.
With a 10 and a 12, they're laughing at him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not a bit. It's here's a ridiculous critter doing something ridiculous.
Whatever
You're all
gets
ridiculous critters.
It's gonna be on like not America's Funniest Home Videos, whatever nation we're in. This is trending on TikTok.
Good.
Yep. Alarian's most ridiculous critters.
Yeah.
Cool.
I would watch that.
Yeah. If anybody has time. So you stand. It takes an action. You stand up. You can always toss out a bardic or use a spell on a bonus action, reposition, help your allies. What do you have available? What do you want to do?
Let's see. So how far away? Where did my allies go to? They went towards the field, right?
John is right next to you.
Gotcha.
Yev is right next to you, just inside the fence. Everyone else is all the way down at the other end.
Okay. I think I'd like to move towards Yev. And then I'd maybe throw out an inspiration as well to Yev.
Cool. So is that your second bardic you're sitting on, or no? Because you didn't get a bardic.
I have Sanctuary, that I
You had
know. I'm
Sanctuary.
unsure about anything else.
Yeah. So you get a bardic from Oberon, and do you want to put any flavor, any spin on that?
Make them laugh, kid.
Your heart soars a little bit.
Yeah, I'm so good at comedy. This is definitely going to go. I've been definitely trained in this art.
Do you have any flashbacks to trying to crack a joke in front of your family and just being met with abject silence?
I don't think I would have tried. I think
You
it was.
don't think you
I
would
just
have
picked up on the
tried?
vibes
Yeah.
immediately.
Tell us a pun right now.
I'm just in character, just blankness.
The driest Slavic comedy that you can muster up.
The
She has
elaborate-
nothing.
In Soviet
She's just
Russia.
She's just looking blankly this is confused her more than helped her.
Yeah.
the sudden pressure to be funny. She's I've never had a joke in my life.
Yeah, no, I would say because what kind of horns do you have?
I simplified them down to goat, but they were kind of twisted up.
Yeah, and the demon skin, that didn't really ever lend itself to comedy.
No.
Your family's very austere and serious.
Yeah. Well, very, very business oriented.
But your heart does skip a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe I could. Maybe
Got
I
this.
will.
Yeah,
God damn it.
absolutely. I'm on the other side of this impossible ocean tornado. Maybe here I could be funny.
Maybe here you could be.
You have been throwing out a lot of like spells that have been missing.
Yeah,
which
exactly.
is
I've
kinda
been
hilarious.
pretty good at missing.
Yeah.
Corn girl summer.
Make that work
It's
for you.
coming up. Oh yeah.
I'm so good at blasting.
So you feel bardically inspired,
Oh, yes.
is what I'm trying to say.
All that. Yep.
Cal.
Stand-up comedy
We
arc.
move to Cal. In front of you, Lakoff has begun addressing this, silvery grayish blue Eladrin. They seem very buddy-buddy. What do you do?
Did he charm Lakoff or something?
Did he charm Lakoff?
Yeah, why are they
not to
friendly
your-
suddenly?
It looked like it looked like a look of recognition from Lakoff for this elf, and it seems like hostility is totally broken between the two of them.
Okay, I shift out of wolf form and I go, Lakoff, what are we doing here?
Lakoff turns to you, smiling. Oh, hey, how are ya?
Well, they've murdered all of our bards. So,
Well, yeah, see, that's a. Hang on a second. He turns and they continue speaking in this sort of dialect of Sylvan, and he turns back to you. Well, that's just a big old misunderstanding. Now, what we have here is not really a kind gesture, and I think we kind of came about in a surprising manner, you might say. So I think maybe we might have an end to our hostilities here if your friends will cool things off.
yeah, stop shooting and we'll stop shooting.
The sort of silvery blue, the Eladrin, he calls out, looking at the other guy rolling on the ground laughing, and calls out a few commands in Sylvan and Juniper. You see these sort of encroaching elves that were flushed from the forest relax a little bit and lower their weapons. And with that, I can say that we can move out of combat, out of initiative order. So anybody is free to move and take action as you see fit.
Did the elf still die, like getting immolated?
Elves still die. Oh no, that dude's on fire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Still?
yeah.
We're actually in combat, he's just
commands have been called to effectively lay down arms, and some of his the elves out there run to his aid.
He doesn't know how to stop, drop, and roll.
I mean, he's doing his best, but they look a little more naturey than they do fire and brimstone.
How much of the farm is still on fire and/or melted with acid?
Yeah. So the tree line is for sure on fire from 3 separate points. That is a problem. It is actively on fire, and it's up to you all how you respond to that.
I'm still doing like a fucking Kubrick stare at the elf that's laughing at me who just set me on fire.
Mm-hmm.
We're out of combat, but I still want to stab the motherfucker. So
Yeah.
that's my entire deal.
And he's there for a full minute as long as John maintains concentration. John, you can let go, but I would say you're smart enough to know that while he's distracted with Tasha's this lowering of arms might not have registered. So if you guys want to take sort of a position around this person so that when they lift, you're not caught off guard, you can do that. That might be a prudent move that John would be aware of, that like, okay, this guy might come out hostile.
Yeah, I feel good about that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So does anybody want to reposition with John around this individual before you drop the spell?
Yeah,
Yeah, if you're watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you guys draw arms. You kind of barrel down on this guy.
I mean, can I just put like a foot in his chest?
Yeah.
Like-
No, 100%. And if you feel comfortable dropping the spell, you can go ahead and do so.
I
Yeah,
drop it.
you do. Okay, cool. So, you drop this spell. It comes out of that, and he's like trying to breathe after laughing. You just like fully boot on the chest.
I'm applying more pressure.
And sees that he's at a disadvantage and kind of like throws his hands back on the ground and catches the other Eladrin Aggressively, he spits out a few words, and the Silvery Eladrin, calmly, that's been talking to Lakoff, they have a brief exchange, and in common, the orangey one says, "Look, it's cool. I'm good. Right? We're done. It's fine." How do you care to respond to that?
Who are you?
My name is Cephestus, and this is Milan. I think there's been a very significant misunderstanding here.
Why'd you almost kill me? Like, me specifically.
You shot our goat.
Shot our goat.
Would you like to heal my burned hands?
Can we have some of your amazing bows?
God, that's a lot of questions. No. Yes. I'm sorry. And the elves they all make their way in here. Juniper, you're free to kind of like mill in as well. And yeah, one of them uses healing touch, clear it up. They go on to explain Zephestus is the leader. This is a group of elves who just kind of patrol, exist in the South Woods. We have a lot of our family, brothers and sisters that have gotten agitated, more violent as years have gone on, and we found the carnage of this farm. We've sort of let them exist. We've given them this land, but some of our, clansmen, tribesmen, whatever you want to call it, some of our relatives decided to escalate the situation and eliminated the Friet family on their farm. We heard about the carnage and looked to at least bury them humanely. And when
we don't look like them though. Half of us are creatures.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blue.
Mm-hmm.
We are very clearly not that family.
We didn't know who was coming. We didn't know who was coming out of the tree line, but we were about to perform a pretty a sacred ritual burial, and anyone else coming from that direction we did not trust. We wanted to keep this situation isolated.
Okay, well, first of all, God bless.
Jesus bless.
Yeah.
We would just really appreciate if we could get your insurance contact information. There's a couple of injuries going on. I'm not saying it's anyone's fault. I just want to get this sorted out. So.
Is there a chiropractor nearby?
Zephestus nods at you and looks at Lakoff, and Lakoff is like, it's like, yeah, sure.
Okay, we'll touch base later.
Okay.
Oh, I have a question.
Yeah.
Why is everything all fairy shit in this place? I've been noticing that it's very Fey-ish, because that's where I'm from. And I'm concerned as to why that is, because where I come from, besides the Fey realm, where we come from, we don't have all this shit. It's just
we've been here for. I'm sorry, so you're saying you came from the Feywilds to the material plane?
I did.
Okay.
We've
We've been here, our ancestors came here thousands of years ago. We sort of transferred out, one might say. When we did, it was sort of a large movement, and a chunk of kind of Feywild energy landed here with us. So that might be what you're picking up. The trees and the forest and our more druidic brothers and sisters among us, at least in the old times, channeled Fey energy with material plane and really created an incredibly verdant ecosystem that we tended for generations and generations.
So where are your cousins or whoever?
Well, those of us that I still communicate with, and again, he looks at Lakoff, and Lakoff is like, I don't know where they came from. I don't know why they... he goes, those we still communicate with are sort of like us, just sort of roving tribes in the southern woods here, as it's been divided by the Elarian colonizing force. The rest of us we haven't kept in contact with for a couple generations.
Are they gonna try to shoot our goat?
In this area, yeah, maybe. You know, I would say stick to the paths if you're traveling with Lakoff.
We already did that.
Right. Look, I again, this is a misunderstanding. I'm sorry, but if you're traveling with Lakoff, you should be safe. I don't think anybody would attack if they knew you were with him. He's always been a friend to us.
What dialect of Sylvan are you speaking, and can I learn it?
Like right now.
Like right now.
Yeah. No.
You'll Duolingo.
If you want to talk to some of us here, we might try to figure that out. But we left. I would say mechanically, what they're speaking is its own language. Not many of the listed. It would be a subset of Sylvan.
Gotcha.
And it is through talking to them and talking about their history, you gather that when they broke off, their language sort of diverged a certain way, blended with common and other languages, and became its own subset, especially being informed by existing on the material plane rather than taking into account things that happened on, the Feywild.
Right.
So if you want to take some time, you might be able to pick up a few words and kind of bridge your communication, but not particularly learn this language.
I would like to learn as much as I can.
Okay, yeah. So Oberon, kind of steps away with a couple of the what are essentially the wood elves, the wood eladrin.
Can I pick which wood elves? Because I want to go with the most attractive ones.
So there's 4, aside from Zephistus, who's this kind of orangey elf, and Milan, who's this silvery blue pale elf. These 4 wood elves, there is, they're all like mutually attractive in a conventional sense, I would say, if that's what you're going for.
Except the burned one.
Except the burned one, who's
Might be
been
into that.
healed. But you have that you can identify across these Eladrin, 3 that seem more masculine and 1 that seems more feminine.
What am I feeling?
But honestly, they are like whatever subtleties that this species, aside from like dramatic coloration of like a significant school of magic or an effect, these kind of like more average Eladrin that are just like shooting bows, hanging out in the woods, however they have dimorphism is like imperceptible to you all.
Gotcha. I'm gonna chat up the silvery one and be like, hey, wanna teach me some fun words and whatever you're speaking?
Yeah, Mullane pulls you aside, and you guys just kind of start talking. He says, he starts with the basics and starts like explaining like nouns and verbs and structure of their sentence, and it's all like really quite similar, but you find kind of like the effect put on certain words or even the structure of sentences has changed very slightly to accommodate them existing in the material plane. And needing to call out across the woods or give sign in hunting instead of an innately magical place where exchanges could happen differently.
Okay.
So it's a bit like Sylvan adapted to Common.
Okay.
And there's a few antiquated words. Words have evolved slightly different. You find a lot of commonality.
Okay.
And I wouldn't say you're proficient, but you can communicate.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What would you call that language? Because I want to add that to my skill set.
Honestly, I would say you could list it as Sylvan Peninsulan dialect.
Okay, gotcha.
Country Sylvan.
Gotcha.
Honestly, yeah, they've kind of broken off and become this sort of micro population.
Williamson County Sylvan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
Barely understand.
write that down.
Williamson
Write that down.
I barely understand it.
But yeah, if anybody else has other questions and things, Zephaestus seems like particularly mournful about the situation and quick to be rid of you all and continue on their work.
I have a question.
Because he feels guilty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, since you attacked us, even though we're with Lakoff,
Mm-hmm.
how can we prevent that happening again? If folks can't see Lakoff.
Lakoff steps in. He says, "Look, that I think that was my bad. I'll take the blame for that one. I sensed trouble as you all did on the Free It farm, and I didn't know what I was walking into. Neither did you all. It seems like you all handled yourselves quite expertly, but
The
in
entire
the future,
world is on fire, Lakoff.
No,
The
trees
groundwater
are just
poison.
burning all around. You guys start to feel the heat. Sounds like you all did a great job. You handled yourselves quite expertly. In the future, I don't think we'll encounter the Free It farm. I thought it was going to be a nice stop for you all, a chance to catch rest, but the violence committed here. I just sort of switched into defense and vigilance and left you all behind. I was not expecting you all to be swarmed with some of the best elven archers that I've ever met.
Is there a code word we can shout out? If there's a common enemy?
Halt or perish didn't really work.
No,
I mean, I understand them kind of now, so.
I would say Zephaestus steps in. A code word I can't really quite give you, but if it's all the same, it's if you are headed towards Easton, there's not a lot between here and there, and most of my cousins roam a bit north along Scholar's Trail, which is the road from Easton to the Silcardian College. They look to intercept things there. This was a very distressing and bold move of them to come here and murder the Freets. And I think through this conversation, you all begin to notice in the field at some point during this, a child, a husband, and a wife just throats cut in sort of field clothes, and that's what from their perspective, something began to descend upon them. And you get the sense that there is sort of a fractured community and perspective amongst these sort of elves that are wandering in the south here.
Can I heal my back?
Look, honestly, I think all you need is just to lie down on something
Hot
cold
bath.
and hard. Yeah, if you want heat, and then you
Take an
want a
Advil.
stiff bath.
Yield that.
Yeah.
It's
So
literally
I
a
can't
leech.
heal my back? But there's-
All you
No, I
need
would
is
say
the
that
dick cell.
disadvantage is going to carry with you.
Okay. Can
Oh,
I
Lord.
do an action to heal my own back?
It's stuck with you until a long rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you're going to carry.
Can we
that
not
with
have a
you.
long rest?
Yeah.
It'll be gone.
No deep tissue massage is gonna solve that.
Can I,
What?
like-
You haven't had my deep tissues.
Yeah.
I could just stand on your back.
I could
and
stand
start
on your back.
beating.
Yeah.
Little goat legs.
Your
might
party
hurt.
seems thrilled to help. It's up to you whether you accept it.
I do this like elbow drop.
Yeah. Just right where it hurts. Yeah.
I'll straighten you out.
I think that
Like 400 pounds of solid
It'll either
muscle.
straighten you out or just maim you permanently, but you know.
It's a 50-50 chance, and again, those are some good odds.
By tonight you'll be wanting to roll those dice.
So yeah, Sephestus, I mean, he honestly looks a little sheepish, and seems happy to answer any of your questions here. But Lakoth seems in good spirit. The violence, he didn't get hit. The violence seems to have passed him. The field is burning. He doesn't really care or notice.
So he's not going to join our all elves are bad protest?
No. He, I mean, these, you guys can tell these seem like they go back a little bit. He, as sort of a nomadic guy, seems to have come in contact, be familiar with them. And there's just simply no hostility here unless the party brings it. And I mean, that's for the party to chew on as you see fit.
Can we do a group huddle and just discuss what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, what the fuck just happened?
Do we trust Lakoff?
I mean, he was kind of my daddy for a little bit, but I don't know him anymore, honestly.
He's stupid, not evil. He is stupid though.
I pull Juniper to the side, and I kind of nudge her closer to Laka, and I whisper, "Sniff."
Sniff?
Shh.
What?
Sniff.
I don't do that. I mean, I don't do it like that.
Sniff.
Do you want to make a roll?
Roll to
try
sniff.
to understand.
Okay.
Just give me. I
Sniff
don't
the man.
know. Is that just gonna be a
I'm sure you
wisdom
sniffed
roll
him.
Oh,
to
Yes.
understand your party mate?
I understand now, though.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
You think? Yeah. What do you think?
I'm thinking
Kels means.
Just
They want me-
waft a little bit.
they want me to get inside their heads.
No, sniff.
Literally sniff.
Waft.
I think you're correct. I think you're correct. And as Kels digs in further, I think a flash of understanding goes through Juniper's mind. And when communicating with Juniper, I think a little directness will be easier to parse. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you sniff?
if I use
Are you
telepathic
sniffing?
speech,
Mm-hmm.
do I have to make a line of conversation? I
Yeah,
can't
so it
just
would be
go in there?
conversation unless you had detect thoughts, which I know do you have?
I don't think I do.
You don't.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
she's not sniffing.
Yeah, so you have no detect thoughts. So I mean, you could talk to him telepathically if you want, but kind of the broad expression on his face reads as not being particularly.
I don't think
like
there's
he has
anything in there.
to hide, right? I don't think you're gonna get anything from having a sidebar with him mentally. He seems a pretty open book, for better or worse.
So I try to sniff.
Mhm.
Do I roll for this? What am I
Scent
sniffing?
acquired.
Sniff.
Oh yeah. Roll perception. I mean,
Yeah.
Calagon's still a wolf. I was.
No, I shifted
Oh
out
no,
to
you
talk.
shifted out to talk.
I
Yeah.
had to talk, yeah.
Should all of us try to sniff?
This is information that Juniper would understand.
Okay. It's perception.
Yeah.
Yes!
How good is your sense of smell? Because I can set the DC off of that.
Not too good today.
It was a 5.
This is a 5. I mean, he smells not even very BO kind of smell. He smells like natural, musky, like someone who lives out in the woods.
Kind of hot.
Yeah. He wears that heavy ass plate armor, so who knows what it smells like when that comes off.
Can I sniff?
Can I get more distance between myself and
You
him?
can always sniff it. Yeah, I don't know what this does, but you're welcome to do so. I would say you find the exact same information, unless you roll a nat 20. How does that sound?
Ah, fuck. Might as
I got
well.
15.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna sniff as
11.
well.
Yeah, sure.
Everyone
Wait,
sniff.
it's 15 plus perception, right?
No, you have to roll a nat 20.
We've all smelled this man.
Yeah. I would so okay, DC 25 roll to learn anything through sniffing. You all failed and none of you got a nat 20, so he smells like a dude. Okay?
Roll to put perfume on this man.
So yeah, I mean, if there's anything else you want to know.
Oh my god.
Zephaestus says to you, like, look, I'm sorry, do you want to help us with this ritual? And as he's talking, see the 4 like wood elves like run off and try to deal with the flames of their forest. That's just no one's paying real close attention. If you want to stick around and help with the ritual, I understand, we shot you with arrows if you want to be on your way.
I call group huddle again. Y'all, I have an idea. Mm-hmm. I need to stick close to them because I can understand them, and I really want to fucking kill these people. And I feel like that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from everyone here.
Yes. Why is everyone sniffing?
They smell
Don't worry about it.
weird, alright?
Weird how?
I have very minimal education. I don't know how to explain it.
Seems a weird thing to go around.
Lack of? It smells weird?
Yes. And also, a little stinky one.
Okay, they smell weird.
The
We hate them.
little stinky one. Should we sniff the little stinky one?
Yeah, so where's the little stinky one?
Procure him.
So for the sake of everyone, I would say that, through whatever process of communication that Kels is particularly adverse to and very cagey about, you all get we can do a total exchange of information. If you're cool with them getting this information out, you all learn that when Saul ran past Kels, Kels got this really intense smell, this kind of magical aura of brimstone, and it smelled
I'm a tiefling. Do I have an edge?
Tiefling and edge, maybe. What was your ancestry?
Oh, remember I sent you that one god who is kind of just a mishmash of
check that.
non-D&D lore.
Yes. And so we just kind of did a neutral tiefling without like a particular ancestry.
Yeah.
So I would say a tiefling, you're probably going to be descendant of a demon, sort of the lawful evil side, rather than a like insane devil that's going to possess you and just blow shit up. So those are sort of the creatures of power that hold domains.
But I don't have like a recognizes like kind of thing going on with this guy?
You don't. If you got really lucky on an Arcana check and you got to see Saul's magic,
17 plus 1, 18.
Okay. You get, by casting your eye with this information on Saul, looking for the sort of aura that your family would give off or other tieflings would give off, you see a much stronger tie to these like the magic of these planes than your people. Your people are like, okay, I had an ancestor that was a demon, and they fucked someone, right? And then they had kids, and that kind of got like dispersed through your ancestry, and now you all just kind of look like demons.
Yeah,
it happens. Families can become tiefling at any time, essentially, and
we're
whether
pretty
or not they
consistent
have offspring is contingent on that. So you get a much stronger connection of this sort of like demonic magic. These like under these planes. So like which would imply a much stronger connection to demonic ancestry, or that this creature is itself a demon. Whether or not they're significantly powerful, I mean, like lords of spheres are like immensely powerful creatures, like immensely powerful. You would be able to see them coming a mile away, even if you're like the slightest bit magically sensitive. This creature places pretty low, but you think that this potentially is a demon.
Okay. Yeah. Since we're huddled and I just kind of like looked over at him, I immediately shared it with the party.
Yeah.
So something's going on with him. That doesn't necessarily mean he's evil, because I'm not, but that is something to be aware of.
That's exactly what I said.
Oh yeah, totally. Sorry for stepping on you like that.
I don't trust demons, no offense, Yev.
I'm taken, goat man.
Thank you. So I feel like we want to like keep an eye on these people in case they like come back ever. And because I can understand them, and I'm like charming as hell, I feel like y'all should make sure I don't die. Like especially me. I'm pretty important to the party right now, guys.
I'm pissed off they shot me. I'm still pissed off
We
about
will
that.
find you a
My
chiropractor.
back hurts. I set the woods on
They
fire.
didn't shoot her in the back.
How did you and Saul meet?
You're asking us to lack off?
Yeah. How did you guys run into each other? You seem like such good friends.
Oh, well, it was around the time that I decided to kind of strike it out on my own. We've just been traveling for a long
You make a
time.
deal with him?
Make a deal with him? We made it, you could call it a deal. Yeah, we agreed to travel together, and, sometimes I hunt, sometimes Saul forges, so it's a pretty good deal, I would say.
Yeah.
We make deals.
But he just appeared?
Saul, no, we knew each other a little bit, and when I decided to kind of head off into the woods, as it were, I asked Saul to come with me.
So you met him in a town?
A town? Yeah, sure.
What, like at a bar?
That would be pretty funny, yeah. And he just kind of like turns away.
Okay, so don't do that.
Lesson learned.
That's not how you charm people.
You try.
Yeah, you ask him.
Yeah, like no persuasion, just asking incredibly invasive
Yeah.
questions.
He's been pretty open so far.
Yeah. And he will continue to be.
Will he?
Contingent on your actions.
Okay.
Okay, so rest of the party, you've been, invited by Zephaestus to stick around for this sort of Eladrin burial ritual. You get the sense from Lakoth and what they've described of their relatives that they seem more particularly kind-eyed to the settlers, to those in Easton, these farmers. They want to keep to themselves, and that this sort of act of violence, you get the sense is a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Stepping out or alarming of kind of the natural, not natural, but sort of the order of things around here. This is sort of an escalation of violation that even they're not comfortable with, of just kind of like murdering the people that are on this land. So, you all can make your judgments about that, but you've been invited to, as sort of a reach of appreciation, to stick around for this ritual before going off on your way. So where does everyone kind of land on that? Do you want to stick around or do you want to go?
Well,
I want to see what happens.
I do too.
I'm willing to observe. I'm still upset from the situation. I would like to put the fire out to at least help. So I'm willing to stay to take notes.
The burial is like not my problem, but I'm not going to split from the party.
Okay. And Calagon and John?
Going with the party's wishes, but perfectly willing to kill all of them
Same.
at any point.
Yeah, feeling similar to Calagon, but very curious, because this is right up. In some ways, this is right up John's alley.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Cool.
As a critter of the cloth, I am very invested
Yeah.
in seeing how these people operate.
So, they kind of put out those other fires. They assemble the bodies, continue on what they're doing. A lot of words in Sylvan get spoken that you sort of recognize. Lots of kind of just general mystical speak talks about, returning to the earth. And these are, because what you find interesting is that these are, funerary rites from magic creatures, fey creatures, for material creatures on the material plane, right? So there's a sense of otherness in the way they refer to the
Of course.
to the Freet family. There's a sense of otherness and acquaintance in the way they regard them as returning to the earth rather than dissipating into magic, essentially, right? Or being some hybrid thereof.
Interesting.
So you guys, listen to this. For you all, it's purely in this Fey dialect that you don't understand, but it's feels very moving, very touching. It's very song-like and very interesting to listen to. And then all at once the elves start to back up. You all follow suit?
Yes.
Okay. So you all take a few steps back with them, and they cast magic that looks a bit like, honestly, an entangle spell, but made of this shimmering, almost like flames but not hot, magic. And these three bodies of child, a mother, and a father begin to literally dissolve into the earth. With that, those sort of shimmering vines vanish, and the elves say a few more words and regard you all and nod and continue on their way. They simply leave.
It's beautiful.
If Lakoff kills me, I want you to do that to my body.
All right.
Zephaestus nods at you appreciatively.
This feels very sacred and important.
Well, it's not every day that we lash out at material plane creatures, despite the encroachment of the empire. So we do with respect what we can.
Still very suspicious of what's going on.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
As they're sort of departing, if there's any last important questions, any last clarifications that you want from these people that are here to do a task and then fuck back off to the woods, right, to kind of live doing their thing before you partner with Blackoff, if there's any questions you have for them. Yeah.
I have this request.
Yeah.
As a token of their apology, I want one of their bows.
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
Shot me.
In character, yeah. Who do you approach and what do you say?
The person who shot me.
The person who shot you?
Yeah.
Indistinguishable.
Okay.
So you can, I will let you roll a d4 and pick a wood elf. What I can do, I'm going to write down a number.
Okay.
And that is the one that shot you. You can roll a d4 and see.
But they all have bows, right?
Yeah.
They all have bows.
They all shot us.
They all shot you, yeah.
We are
So
one.
go ahead, roll a
They
d4.
are- Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of like guilt trip them. Like,
They fired
Yeah.
first at unarmed people who
Yeah.
ran away from them.
use
In
the
the same
sciatic
spirit, I want the hands, the one who set me on fire.
That's right.
I think that's asking a little much.
Gotta try.
I think that's a 1.
It is.
So I wrote down a 3. So
Can I gaslight
Yeah.
a guy into
Yeah.
thinking that
oh
he
yeah,
shot
if anybody wants to, like, you see someone being chewed out and
I
you
have
just
+4
like
deception. I love
Yeah.
to lie.
just like hype man it, just like from like yeah, like get him.
15 to
21.
19. Oh!
21 and a 19.
Yeah.
All right. So
I can't
I'll
believe you
say,
shot her.
You
Yeah.
shot her. You owe her
I want to
this.
You shot our medic. You have broken the Geneva Convention in a couple of asses.
I want all of those.
Yeah, very good.
That was cruel.
We'll see you at the Hague,
all
bitch.
Zephaestus and Melaine look at each other and they look to the Wood Elves. They speak briefly in Sylvan and Oberon. I mean, you hear some words that kind of equate to overinflated, confused, absurd, and it's lost in the context, but you get the sense that they're like fully taken aback and like a little put off
Understandable.
by this.
Yeah, they seem a little put off, but I think I speak for all of us when I say that if they would give us one of their 48 damage bows, we would feel completely recompensed. Like we would feel whole, we would be friends in the future, even come to their aid shooting one of their hand
We won't
cannons.
stick our insurance agency as we so threatened on them.
All that's off the table. All aggression's
Yeah.
gone. This would be like the greatest
the
peace
elves
offering.
begin to like. Actually, the Wood Elves begin to laugh slightly, talking to Zephaestus, and they begin to point at the group. And you get the sense that they might be making fun of you guys as a tool that you couldn't handle.
I want to intimidate.
And so this recognition is on Oberon.
Gotcha.
And so you get the sense that they might be, not taking you guys seriously.
I think it's working, guys.
I would like to charismatically like persuade them to be like, hey guys.
Yeah.
Like we're pretty cool. Like let's let like bygones be bygones. And just give us one of your bows, and we'll forget this whole thing ever happened. We'll be cool. Also, if you have any instruments, I would appreciate that too.
How about gold?
Probably Melaine speaks to you, goes, why? Why would we give that to you?
Because you almost killed me and my friends.
That was an accident.
You don't accidentally almost kill someone. That's not how this works. You realize that, right?
On the one hand, we're not skilled enough to use the bow. On the other hand, they can accidentally kill people with them, so they're not very skilled either.
Exactly. Like, do you deserve to have a bow like that if you like accidentally kill people all the time? I win.
Zephaestus pulls Melaine aside and then approaches you all. He says, traveling with Black Oath and you look like you've been through sort of some dire circumstances. We can't part with our tools. You have to understand that, right? These are cut from Fey-touched trees. These are our tools.
We'll trade you. I'll trade you my great club for one of them.
I'll trade you my loot. It's great.
This creature is from the Fey realm and is much more powerful and enriched in that than you people are. This is closer to a god.
I am king to my people, and I will make sure you are all recompensed.
Technically, everything he touches is Fey-touched.
Exactly.
He touches himself, he's Fey-touched.
I'm very Fey-touched.
Lack of might have been a little Fey-touched the other night, I'm not sure.
Depends who you ask.
I quit watching after a while.
Zephaestus looks to Lakoth, and Lakoth is like, it's an interesting argument, but
Can I roll for intimidation?
roll for
Can we
intimidation.
all roll?
I think you all come to the realization that just neutrally making a request or an intimidation is not going to be successful. You would have to prove or make an argument or something effective to kind of bolster your point, but it seems very, very unlikely.
So do you guys have a lawyer?
Lawyer?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't know what that is.
Huh. Well, you may want to get one.
Yeah.
Why would we do that? How do you get a lawyer?
Well-
Is that a type of berry?
Oh, we're going to take a lot more than the bow.
Uh-huh.
Can I try to flirt with one of them? Because that's like The only thing I'm really good at is
Okay, if we throw
probably
all
not.
the tactics
Yeah.
at the
Yeah,
Mermans,
one of them has to succeed.
If we sue them, if we
it's just
start with them,
like taking your cup and filling it up with every
Right.
soda.
Top
The end
that
result is
top.
not good.
exactly.
What if
Like-
I say we will leave you alone if you give me just any instrument you have, please? Anyone. Doesn't even have to be that good.
Without a second thought, two of the wood elves reach into their bags and they pull out kind of a very plain wood loot. Give it to you. You get two, and they say, "All right, cool.
Yes.
So we're square.
No,
Bye."
I'm not
Bye.
sure.
And they
No,
just
No, he
go.
doesn't speak for her.
they take
He
off.
I was shot too.
I think this was a very fair
Throw down
exchange.
two loots and just turn and sprint.
Can I
We're
roll for
very,
persuasion?
Persuasion for what specifically?
I
don't
want
know,
to
fucking
roll
look
for
for
any person who has a bow to make up from them shooting me. I almost died.
It's true.
That'll stand
So
up in
yeah,
court.
you make that impassioned argument. I'm gonna set the DC at. We'll split the difference. We'll call it 22. It is extremely unlikely, right? If you can beat a 22 on persuasion, they will give you a bow with no help, no extra advantage. A 22. What's your charisma modifier?
+3.
+3. So you either need a 19 or a nat 20. It is possible. It is extremely likely that you could guilt trip them. Or it's extremely unlikely that you could guilt trip them, but it is possible. So
Before I roll,
Mhm.
could they make me one out of the dead wood that just burned up? Like,
that
could-
would take days.
It'll take days.
That would take
Okay.
days, yeah.
Okay. Let's
believe
see.
in you.
I will roll.
Now, do you still have your bardic?
Ah, yes. I have Oberons and Jaunties.
Okay. So that was, you can only keep one at a time.
One at a time?
It's fine. So since it's probably been more than a few minutes since you've been bardicked multiple times, I would say it's still, like active on you. So you can add a d4 to your roll. You're looking for a 19 or a 20 on your die, and then you can add a d4 and
D4.
drop your bardic.
Okay. Let's do this.
Want the D4 also?
Sure.
Any of the triangles? You're rolling for major GM regrets.
Got
You
this.
can do
You
it.
can do it.
Let spite fuel you.
This is the layup.
Yeah, because this is indeed a.
A 48 fucking
Vivo.
Marine sniper bow. Ah!
Fuck. So that's an 8.
That's an 8.
What's the
So
difference?
even with the bar,
Yeah, we're not gonna do it.
but I would say include it. See, you can improve your failure.
And I roll a D4.
Roll a d4 and you'll add it to the 8.
Oh, it's a
4.
4.
And your charisma is +3, so
Yeah.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
16.
14.
That's not bad.
No, is it 15 or 16?
That was 16.
16. It's not terrible, but they're more comfortable disregarding you and giving you a firm shoulder touch and just a sincere apology.
Can I stab them? Like
You
with my
stab
dagger?
them.
Can I stab?
Don't-
You want to stab this person.
She
Can
hurt her
I
back.
move?
You can't touch your shoulder like that.
Can I move to stop her from stabbing
Hey!
them?
What
Whiplash!
what melee weapon do you have?
Actually, I take it back.
Okay. Because we can go right back into combat.
I do not want to do that now.
We might.
I really want to bow, guys.
Well, they're
They have
too
me
close
messed
to really
up.
use
We
the
will
bow.
get you.
And I
one of
will
those
say on this,
bows.
you guys are headed to a town. You're broke, but there's opportunities there to supply.
So I
Your people of the forest.
Over-exaggerate
What
my
good is
pain.
gold for you guys? Do you want to reduce your weight?
They don't have any gold. No,
Do you
they
like a
don't
fun
have any
snack?
pockets. Yeah, no, they
Besides
pull out
your
nuts and
pants.
berries and fill your
They were
hands.
hands.
So I
We
go
got-
out in pain.
Mhm.
A lot of people
You
don't
really
like
like acted
I
up.
really
Yeah,
acted
yeah,
it
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Like my back. Oh my god. Oh my side. You shot me.
Lay some deception on it or something.
Mhm.
Give me something.
No. You can do a deception roll that they injured you. if you want. We can go fresh. Give me a deception roll.
Wait, we already guessed.
Yeah,
We
21-19.
already believed that they injured her.
Look
Yeah.
at the pain.
So and you can
So
maybe get
scared.
something sympathy, but
No,
you
nothing.
you failed that bow check. There's not enough.
Okay, other than bows, what do they have on them? They got some loots.
I got a loot.
You look
No, they
some
gave
nuts
an
and berries.
We take the
instrument.
shirts off their backs.
No, they split. They give you the loot, a heartfelt apology,
So
and they're square, and they take off.
Before
And
They
go.
peel out of the
Yes.
Huck's parking lot.
They are running.
This negotiation is over.
I can do telepathic speech to my peers real fast. Let them know I want to fucking kill them.
We all do.
I didn't get a loot.
Yeah.
I didn't get a loot.
I promise you we will kill them at some point.
They leave. All right, bygones be bygones. Lockoff is like, hey, no problem. You know, it happens. You know, sometimes you hit the goat with an arrow. Sometimes
you just
something else happens.
Before they left, they moisturized me. And I was healed, but have I been moisturized?
Yeah, you know, they've got a cell.
Great, that's all I care
Do you
about.
want me to lick your hands with my little cat tongue?
Sure.
Okay.
It doesn't hurt, but, you know, it's exfoliating.
Yeah, I know I've been healed, but I just want to make sure I'm no longer dry.
Yeah.
Quick question about the loot. Is it better than the shitty loot that I got?
Well, you have two.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's real. It's rustic, but you know, there's serious craftsmanship there.
Okay, awesome.
So you know, you got your spellcasting focus replaced.
Yes.
You can, you know, do performance check. You know, you play a few notes. Go ahead, give me a performance roll.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a 20.
Ooh.
Plus, I have a
Yeah.
lot of performance. Plus 5, 25.
Well, nat 20 is way more important than a 25.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that is without flaws. So I mean, how perfectly do you play this?
Are
And
they
what does
so
it look
moved
like?
they give us a bow?
No, but they leave in high spirits, and I would say it's a real dueling banjos type scenario as they leave. And so you've formed a bond with these sort of creatures of this space.
I want to play a tune that, like, outwardly sounds very friendly, but, like, if you look at the lyrics, it's kind of a little bit threatening. Like, I want to give them that impression of, like, we love you guys, but we might kill you at some point.
And if you want to sing a few bars or give me the tune, I will give you inspiration.
Friends, thank you for lending us this lute of which I play now. We promise not to harm you ever, even though we really don't like elves. But that's not your fault. It's just we don't like elves. Bye.
Here's the song was being anti-elf racist.
Yeah, right. Totally missed the subtext of that.
I said you don't like elves.
It's a real jam, and you know the lyrics are actually kind of downplayed, right? They might be a little under the lute, so they don't like totally hear it. And like they're playing back and forth, get a real chorus going as they hum along, and they have a great time. And they go, and as far as they're concerned, they're you've made allies.
Gotcha.
In the Southern Woods.
Awesome.
Play them out with Rihanna's Take a Bow.
I will. That was quite a bow. Very entertaining.
Well, with everything commenced, Lackoff, regards you all, and he goes, I'm so sorry for the injuries. I'm so sorry you got caught up in that. The Friets were truly some dear friends of mine. I was very much looking forward to y'all meeting them. I think it's best that we move on as well and let the authorities, when you get to Easten Port, let them know what happened. I'll be on my way. But I think that if you report this, you can get very quickly into good standing with the port city, and that might be able to assist you in
Will they
whatever
not
you're
suspect us?
Yeah.
If we just show up and we're like, some people died.
I was gonna say, like, what if we don't trust cops?
Yeah.
Like, it's an
I know.
ACAB situation.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Lackoff nods very, very.
What's his take on
knowingly
cops?
at this
We have to know if we
impression.
trust this
Yeah,
man.
that's because then I'm gonna get rid of him.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Can we
Black
cancel
Oak?
him?
Yeah.
Can we please cancel it?
Blackout nods very, very knowingly at that sort of the assertion, and he. Let me get my
Guess
notes.
he's already been canceled. That's why he lives in the woods.
Don't cancel.
You don't know. Maybe.
Roll the
maybe
cancel.
he has.
This is Dave Chappelle living in Africa.
Bear with me. You all
We
keep
huddle again. We're
skipping
talking about our
around.
politics, making sure we're all like attack cops.
Right.
So we're not gonna kill the cops,
Around
right?
to these weird.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't trust anyone from like this vicinity so far.
Yes, there's that.
We're all tweeting about it.
Yeah.
Ye old Twitter.
I think it's literally a bird. You're just
Yeah, we,
You were just like
we
killing
catch a
the
bird.
Right. A cab bird. I hate cops. Fly away.
Oh my god, I think I
Tell
speak to
everyone.
animals.
Oh, perfect.
Yes! The bird understands, the bird agrees.
Okay, just had to jump around for a minute. He says, I very much understand that impression. I had a bit of a falling out with the Ilarian authority, and that's why I
sick.
traveled the way I do. He does a quick skateboard trick. And he says, if you're conscientious about speaking to the port security, who will be very interested in what happened to the Friet family, you could always make contact with Cogstein and Sound Friek, two individuals who might be able to report this information without implicating yourselves. And Blackoff gives a pretty clear, salient argument and what feels like very sound advice. He doesn't go into detail about these individuals or where to find them, but he gives you the names Cogston, Cogsten, and Sound Friek, Soundfreik, different than the Friet family, that you can make contact with. And they, if you're concerned about coming in as outsiders, which he understands, you can inform these community leaders.
Nice.
Can I roll a quick investigation?
Yeah, what are you investigating for?
I'm going to ask him, what drove you out of town? Why don't you, what's going on there? Never mind, that's a 10.
Well, I was only in Easton very briefly, and it was many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask him what crime he committed? Can
Well,
I
I
roll
suppose it's about time we begin the whole trail. And he begins to he leaves the field through the entrance by the house, and
We will respect you so much more if you did a crime.
Yep. Walks past the house and kind of gently pats the side of it.
It's a good
As
house.
he and a little mournful, and him and Saul scurries up, and the two of them take off, and they say, "Well, you coming?"
Seems fine.
I guess, yeah.
I glare at the back of his head,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but I'm coming.
Could be bumming around with like the George W. Bush of Easton. You never know.
Could be. Only one way to find out, and that is to continue forward. The rest of your late afternoon into the evening is pretty uneventful. A little less bushwhacking. There was a road that started in front of the Friet farm that continues east. And this is more of a dirt path, right, where they would take carts and move goods and supply vegetables to the town, to the college, etc., whatever it be. So it's a lot easier walking as you guys are moving across a pretty well-defined dirt path, and it only takes maybe another hour or two as the sun starts to drop from this day as you guys cross, and before you know it, the kind of salty air comes back to you all, and you see into the setting sun, ocean, and below you a thriving port city. Several large vessels, a couple smaller fishing vessels, individual boats docked further along the coast there, and what looks like to be a very bustling shipyard, and closer to you, beyond the shipyard, what looks to be a pretty well-established town. A good dozen or so structures, people coming and going, and anybody who is sort of leaving the town seems to be going well past the port itself, and you get the impression that maybe people are heading out to more of a domestic settlement outside of this the port proper. So you all kind of approach the tree line, see the port of Easton, and that is where we are going to wrap up. Next week, we'll pick up with Lakoth saying his goodbyes to the party descending into Easton Port, and updating their points of contact, if they can find them, about the murder of the Friet family, and maybe finding their place amongst this port city of travelers. Question.
Will we rest before we enter the city?
If you want to take a short rest before you leave the farm,
wants to take a long rest for her back.
Yeah, she needs
so
it.
no long rest. A long rest is 8 or more hours. But if you want to take something like an hour of downtime where you can do a little healing for anybody that took some damage. I forget which spellcasters refresh on a short rest, but some of you might get some spell slots back. Which would be useful. I'm gonna check that. Are there any other questions before we wrap up?
Gotta find a lawyer, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta find a lawyer.
I think I'm just gonna start lying if they don't have lawyers here.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, who's gonna stop you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a bow.
Yeah.
That sounds.
You can roll a lawyer check.
Exactly.
So it's warlocks that recover all their spell slots.
I didn't use
on
any. I
short rest.
only used cantrips.
Yeah, use cantrips, but that is what it is to be a warlock.
Exactly.
Right? You just fucking
I'm cheating
Eldritch
as much
Bolt.
as I can. Yeah.
You just start blasting,
Mhm.
Well, cool. Anything else before we wrap up the episode? Well, I think we're all set. Thank you for watching. If you watch this on YouTube, check us out on Twitch when we actually live stream every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Central, and our other show, All Guts No Glory, every other Thursday at 5 p.m. Central. And those will be running through the beginning of May. So if you're watching this on VOD or you're watching this on stream, go check out our YouTube, go to Twitch if you're on YouTube, do all those things, and talk to us in our Discord. Do that. We'd love to chat. Bye.